Hi everybody, welcome back to Luke Bourne's Painting Solutions. Just want to have a quick chat about a project that I'm working on at the moment and just how we've been able to upsell and make one job into three. I was given a last minute job or asked to do a last minute job by a very good client, and they'd referred me on to somebody. So I met with this particular couple who had a rental property that was in quite a dilapidated state. When I say dilapidated, it'd been rented out for 25 years, so aesthetically nothing had changed. Condition of the place wasn't too bad, but as you can imagine, it was quite dated. They needed a quick sale and they needed the job started right away, right into it. So I met with the couple on the Tuesday and just had a bit of a chat, what they're wanting to achieve, what they're wanting the place to look like, and what they were wanting the end result to be. And obviously costings was an issue, so we talked about top of the range paint, mid-range to cheap paints, fors and against for their options, and we came up with a good solution for them. Now they basically wanted me to quote and then basically straight away, and luckily for them we were in a position to be able to do that, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's like maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm busy with something else at the moment, but it just worked out really, really well for them, so that was good. And I got the quote to them Wednesday, said, okay, if you're happy with everything, read through all the terms and conditions carefully, sign, reply, say, yes, I agree with the quote, drop the deposit in my account, and we can start straight away. Started the Thursday. And because I was able to really stretch myself and go out above and beyond to give them this job and give them the opportunity to work for them, not only did I get the job straight away, but one job has now turned into 3 jobs, because the owners were talking about, well, what do we do with exteriors? What are the options? What can we do? The fascia boards were worn. It was a very old classic cream and Manor Red combination, which is 25 to 30 years old colour scheme, and it's just, the outside looked like the inside had looked. It was just worn. So we came up with some options. We came up with some things that we could do for them, and we discussed, if turnaround time's an issue, this is what we're going to have to do to achieve that. We're going to have to pull some people in, and this is going to be the costings, this is going to be the materials. And because of the way we handled it, because of the way we understood their urgency and understood their needs and were able to be a little bit more adaptable, not only did I get one job out of them, but I've got 3 really good paying jobs out of them. And, in the progress, we're doing quite well. Things are moving along really well. And, we'll be finished by the weekend, the complete internals. We'll be all finished out and done. And then we'll take a couple of days break, just get some paperwork done, and then we can start with the externals. So it's been good negotiating with them and talking with them, because for our benefit, it's been huge, and some people know exactly what they want. Other people, you got to hold their hand and take them through the process. They're a little bit of this later, but we've come up with some options for them, some really good ideas, and I believe it's going to give them what they want, which is something that's going to sell quickly, and they need it on the market, because obviously they're at the retirement age. They need the money to release to pay off existing homes and get everything sorted in their life, and that's good. It's been wonderful to talk with them. They were a lovely couple, very understanding and very open to suggestions and ideas, and I said, I'm here to work for you, but you need to leave me alone to work. You need to leave me alone to be able to do my job. It's an empty property. I've got the keys, the power's on. I can just come in and just go my hardest. But, when people start coming in, they want to chew up my time for an hour worth of questions. Well, that's going to slow the process down, and my aim is to fill the contract that I've proposed to them for the price that I proposed to them, so that they're happy. I'm happy with the monetary gain out of it, and they're happy because now this house is going to sell really well, because not only is the inside going to be done, the outside's going to be done, and some feature stuff as well, and it's going to help them in the long run. And that's what it's been about. Sometimes you have to go above and beyond, and there are times where I've had to say, look, I'm under the pump, don't have anyone spare that I could at least start a job for you. But you know what? Sometimes we negotiate, sometimes we come up with solutions, sometimes, we can outsource the work for them and get someone that we know. But that also creates difficulties, that also creates problems because you're depending on somebody else. And I very much like to rely on myself and the people who work with me. So, food for thought, but with the right tweaking, one job can become three, and referral work. And when you've got clients saying, hey, if you need someone, you've got to call this guy. That's the way to go. All right, guys, take care of yourself. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Look after each other, and I'll see you on the flip side.